So, hello learners, how are you? I hope that you would have understood the income method. It was very simple. Yesterday, in the previous video, I had uploaded yesterday, I had explained the income method. And today we'll be doing expenditure method. In first video, which will be uploaded at 3 p.m., you will get the theory of income expenditure method. And after that, at 5 p.m., I'll be uploading another video which will include the numericals related to expenditure method. So I hope that you are understanding it well, and I have been getting some doubts also, so I'll be clearing those doubts also in the next session. So first we'll start with expenditure method. As you already know that we have three methods of calculating income, national income that is. It is production method, income method, and expenditure method. We have done production method and income method, and today we'll be doing expenditure method. So I'll be sharing a screen so that you'll be able to see and you'll be able to understand very well. So we'll be doing it step by step, and I hope that you can see it. Now see, what we have to do is, we'll start with the steps. Like first step is, our first step will be adding many type of expenditure which are made in our country. You have already done the circular flow of income. Two-way you have done, producer and consumer. Then three-way, producer, consumer and government. And four-way, producer, consumer, government and from abroad. So here we have to understand that what kind of expenditures we are making. Like we make expenditure for production purpose, we make expenditure for consumption purpose, and we make expenditure not for consumption, not for production, for providing services to people. Like for first, we'll take the example of private final consumption expenditure. What is private final consumption expenditure? It is the consumption expenditure which is made by profitable or non-profitable organizations for production purpose. They are producing goods and services and they are making certain type of expenditure. Only final consumption expenditure is included. That means we do not include intermediate consumption. Secondly, I've taken household final consumption expenditure. Although you will not get it in any of your books, because household final consumption expenditure is the expenditure which is made by common people for fulfilling their needs. So usually it is not included because the four sector economy is not in your course. That is why you won't get, but still we should know this. Then there is government final consumption expenditure. Government is also making expenditure. It is providing goods and services to common people, and for that it is making expenditure. Like I can be part of private final consumption expenditure also. My expenditure can be part of household final consumption expenditure also. How? Like if I am producing goods and services, like I am providing you some teaching, and for this I am using internet and I am paying for internet, that will be included in private final consumption expenditure. But as a household, as a consumer, I need to fulfill my needs also. And for that, whatever consumption I am making, that is household final consumption expenditure. And then government is also making final consumption expenditure because it is providing goods and services to people. Like it is making park, road, bridges, dam. It is providing electricity. For that, it is making power plants. So whatever expenditure government is making, like latest government expenditure is providing of vaccinations. They have provided you vaccination, and you know that government budget has given the maximum part to the medical expenses last year. Then gross domestic capital formation, it is total investment done during an accounting year. It is total investment. It includes depreciation also, that is why it is gross. Gross domestic capital formation, that means the capital formed, the investment done in the whole country. And then net export is taken. Net export means export minus import. When we buy from abroad, it is import, and when we sell to abroad, it is export. So when we sell, we get receipts. When we buy, we pay. So receipts minus payment is net export. Now the first step will be that we have to add all this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means private final consumption expenditure, household final consumption expenditure, government final consumption expenditure, gross domestic capital formation, and net export. If one of the component is not given, then don't get confused. You just add the rest of the components. Okay, so 5 components are there in the first step. Now we'll see the next step. In second step, what we do is we deduct 2 things from the 5 we had added. We had added 5 things: private final consumption expenditure, government final consumption expenditure, household final consumption expenditure, gross domestic capital formation, and net export. And what we'll be doing, we'll be deducting from these 2 things. Those 2 things are depreciation, see, depreciation, and net indirect taxes. You already know what is net indirect taxes, which is indirect tax minus subsidy. When we do this, we get NDPFC, that is domestic income, net domestic product at factor cost. It is domestic income. And in step 3, we again add net factor income from abroad to NDPFC, and we get NNPFC, national income. That means we have 3 steps. In first step, we add 5 components, which I had told you. There may be a question in which there might not be 1 or 2 components, but don't confuse yourself. Just add whatever is given, and then you have to deduct depreciation, net indirect taxes. You will find NDPFC, and when you will add net factor income from abroad, you will find NNPFC. Now let us come to some of the precautions we must take while calculating national income by expenditure method. And what are the precautions we require to take? First thing is, because I had told you 4th component, gross domestic capital formation. I had told you gross domestic capital formation. See, here it is written, if net domestic capital formation is given, if instead of gross, net is given, so what will you do? You will not deduct depreciation because already the net value has been given. If gross value is given, then you will deduct depreciation. But if net value is given, you do not require to deduct depreciation. First thing, you should remember this. Because in expenditure method, these kind of things are given intentionally by the examiner to confuse the student. So if they have given you net domestic capital formation, then don't deduct depreciation. Just ignore depreciation. Second thing, if there fixed is written in between this, like gross domestic fixed capital formation. Now what happens is that our capital is of 2 types. One is fixed capital, which we spend on permanent assets, and the other is working capital, which is spent on fulfilling the current liabilities. When we write fixed capital here, that means we have not included working capital. I think you can understand this, that if we have written fixed capital, that means we have not included working capital. But we want the total capital. We want fixed capital also, and we want working capital also. This is the reason that when it is written gross domestic fixed capital formation, even if it is written net domestic fixed capital formation, if fixed word is written, then what you have to do, you have to add change in stock. And what is change in stock? It is the difference between closing stock and opening stock. So you have to add change in stock. When you will add change in stock, that means you have also included working capital along with the fixed capital, and now you have got gross domestic fixed capital formation. I will recapitulate these things once again. See, for expenditure method, you have to add these things. Private final consumption expenditure, it is just like expenditure of production sector, household final consumption expenditure. It is just like expenditure of consumer sector, government final consumption expenditure. It is government's expenditure, gross domestic capital formation. It is total investment made during an accounting year within the domestic territory, and net export. That means export minus income. Then second step is that you have to deduct two things, depreciation and net indirect taxes. When you will do this, you will get NDPFC, and when you will add net factor income from abroad, you will get an NPFC. And the third most important thing is that you have to take certain precautions. The precautions are, if net domestic capital formation is given, then don't deduct depreciation. The reason is that you are given net value. You are not given gross value, that you have to find net value. You are already given net value. If fixed is written, like gross domestic capital formation, I've given an example over here, then you will also add change in stock. Change in stock can be directly given also, and it can also happen that you are given closing stock and opening stock, and then you find change in stock and then you add to it. So it can happen like this also. So be clear in your 3 steps, be clear about the precautions, and I hope that you will be successfully doing the expenditure method. In the next video, I'll be telling you how to calculate the numerical related to expenditure method. We'll see the 2 numericals. And again, I want to tell you that if you have any doubt, you can share it on the comment section, or you can WhatsApp me, or if you can find my email also on my YouTube channel, so you can email to me also. I'll be answering all your questions, okay? And we'll try to have a live sessions also, so that you'll be able to clear your doubts. And if you have any problem related to language also, you want me to explain in Hindi, you can tell me. I'll be explaining it in Hindi also. So thanks a lot, and please subscribe my channel for getting more such videos related to economics. Keep learning economics. Enjoy economics. Thank you.